everyone, and welcome to another classic guitar video. Tonight's video is dedicated to Truthfully Tricia. I have this Epiphone limited edition Les Paul Custom SG made in 1999. It's a one of one. It's the only one made like this, and it's the only one that has a serial number of 0001, which means it is the first Epiphone guitar off the assembly line for the year 1999. And let's just get started on it. And today's show sponsor is Guitar Center of Glendora, so I appreciate them wholeheartedly, and thank you very much. So let's get right into this. We were having some issues last time of a low volume on the pickups. So I'm going to go ahead and check the continuity across everything with my voltmeter. I'm going to have to put a new battery in my voltmeter though, so let's do that straight away. I got some new batteries to put in it, 9 volt. So we'll do that straight away and get that done and over with, and run my meter across all the parts of the electronics and see if we can narrow this down and finish this guitar. Again, this guitar stream is dedicated to my friend Truthfully Tricia here on YouTube, and her husband Tomahawk Sean, two really great people. You can check them out. Yeah, check them out. They're really great. Okay, now I gotta open the back of this sucker and put my new battery in. New battery. So we'll do that straight away. It is ran by this 9 volt battery, and we'll get this done. There we go. I gotta get it in the slots. The battery tray. And then I can tighten the little retaining screw. I should have done this before the show, but that's alright. It's taking a minute here to do it. It's not a big deal. It's not a big thing. Not a big thing at all. It's a little thing. We got my test leads, and we'll plug this sucker in, and hopefully we can run down this problem tonight so we can finish this guitar. It's been a long time in the waiting, and yeah. Interesting. There we go. That beep you're hearing is the continuity. Most voltmeters have a continuity setting. So you just set it on continuity, and I'll first check my grounds. Make sure we got a nice, good, common ground.
May I come in?
You just can't resist, can you, Counselor?
I only want to help.
So I'm going to have to put the guitar up on its edge, I think. So, which means I'm going to have to get my fingerprints on my freshly polished guitar, but that's okay. It's not a big deal.
What is it that has you so worried?
Your single-mindedness.
Hmm.
You need to have this experiment work.
Picard has no choice now. He must defend the Enterprise. Counselor, when this is all over, I will show you New Manhattan on Beth Delta 1 as you have never seen it, and we will laugh over glasses of champagne.
Okay. Sounds like we don't have a ground on the bridge.
So polished.
See, there's the jack.
Isn't it?
There's a switch.
It's stretched.
Nothing on the strings of the bridge.
This room. And if
Let's
you
check
finally
across
fall,
the other pots.
I fear it will snap.
Yep. So we got
A good try, Counselor.
continuity on everything else but the bridge so far. So with that said, I think it's a ground issue on the bridge. It's not a big deal. I haven't done the setup on this guitar yet, so I won't disturb anything by simply just detuning it and taking the bridge off again and pulling out one of the it's probably going to be this one, pulling out one of the bridge studs. So we'll do that, and then we should be golden after that. Should be. So again, this is a 1999 Epiphone Les Paul Custom SG with a serial number of 0001, which means it's the first guitar off the assembly line for the manufacturer Epiphone in 1999. So they kind of made this a special one-off guitar, being a Les Paul Custom SG with binding, cream paint, rosewood fretboard, and 3 pickups and gold tone hardware. So I'm gonna have to get my fingerprints on everything, unfortunately. Even though I just polished everything, I keep getting my grubby grubs on it, but that's alright. Okay. So I think it's probably gonna be this one, which is mostly where they put the ground, either here or sometimes here, but mostly here. They're not going to put it on a far away one because that would take more wire. Okay. Seems it is just turning in its space. Yeah, it's just spinning. Ooh, want to be careful with your screwdriver. I'll have to take out the whole thing. Interesting. Looks like somebody tried to glue it or put tape on it or something, and that didn't exactly go as well as planned for them, I think. Okay, now it's loose. So I'm going to have to take this in the shop and clean it off with the wire wheel. Now I need to look in this hole and see if I can see the tip of the ground wire, which I don't. I gotta blow some of the wood chips out of the hole. Okay, we got no ground. Let's see if I can show it to you guys. I'll bring the camera down here because it's gonna be difficult to hold it up. So, okay. Whoops, where are we at? Okay. Okay, see the hole? Yeah, there we go. See the hole there? That's the hole for the ground wire. And as you can see, there's no ground wire. So evidently, whoever MacGyvered this stud with some tape around it, they didn't think about the ground. So I'm going to have to pull that wire through and redo it. So let's just go ahead and get that started. Whoops, sorry, you got to see my ugly mug there for a second. So I'm going to have to flip this over and we'll get that ground, and that should be the cure of the problem. Should be. Should be. So I'm going to have to flip it over and literally pull that ground wire through. Yep. Yep, see, there it is. Oh my. Okay. So what you do is you check the tip and make sure it's good. Usually they come factory tinted with solder, so that way they don't get frayed. So now I'm going to push it through. Push it through to where it's showing again, and then we'll try and make contact with it. I'm going to need the needle nose because my fingers aren't small enough to push it all the way through the hole. So that should be enough. We'll flip her back over and see where she's at. And there's the ground wire. There it is right here. So now I'm going to have to go into the shop and take the wire wheel to this piece, because I can smell it smells like duct tape. Somebody put a little bit of duct tape or something around there. Now it's hard to see because of the light, but there we go. I need to clean that off, so I will be right back.
I don't think this is a wise idea. They have already tried to kill me once. Once your way into the record book, Doctor? I am ready, sir.
Some of the human who destroyed their comrades is here, wishes to address them.
Captain, if you, sir.
You explain your error and apologize, and pray that we can negotiate a peace we can all live with. Is that clear?
Captain, if a face-to-face negotiation would be helpful, I would like to volunteer myself as a conduit.
Yourself, David.
I can easily furnish the nanites with a schematic design of my neurological structure. Entering my neural network would require no more than their most basic skills.
That's what they were designed for.
They can penetrate the molecular fabric of my hand covering, into my nerve circuitry, and interface with my verbal program.
If they have control of a Starfleet commander, they become an even greater threat. How can we be sure that we can get them out of here?
It would be a considerable risk, sir, but it would also represent a gesture of trust on our part. Could be an important step toward peace, sir.
All right, Data. Propose it to the nanites.
The answer is yes.
cold. You bring your stand in or something.
Now, travel, we've encountered many other creatures, perhaps.
Okay. Alright, we took this out to the shop and we cleaned it off with the wire wheel.
Actions as an attack on us.
You see I got all that goop off of it.
Raw materials for
There you go.
replicating process.
Yes, which will engage at this vessel in which we will travel.
The ground wire is supposed to ground up against this and make contact, so that way you have a completed ground circuit through your bridge, your tailpiece, and your strings clear on up to the tuners. So that's what this wire is here. So it looks like we found the problem. Now our second problem is generally these are supposed to be a tight fit. That's why there's splines on this. Now since the splines in the wood are wore off, I can't I can't when I go to tighten it, it's just gonna spin. You know, it's supposed to be tightened tight. I guess whoever worked on the guitar last didn't know or understand or realize that, and they just kind of jerry-rigged it. So I'm gonna see what we can do about. If I have to glue this, it's gonna have to glue overnight, and then this is gonna be a part 4 video. I was really kind of hoping to finish this tonight. So I'm gonna see how tight this is without gluing it. Now that we're gonna have a little piece of, wire in there to take up some slack. So I'll see what this does here in a second. Yeah, it's not very tight. Shoot. I think it'll probably be fine. Tap it in a little bit tighter. You want to do that very carefully so as not to mess with the gold finish on it. And then I'll polish around where I got my fingerprints and everything on it just now. Get rid of this glue. This glue is bothering me. And put her back together and see if we got tonality. I think we may have tonality. So we'll polish it off, put the bridge back on, and see what we kind of got. I think this will fix the problem. I think. Not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure. I'll put it that way.
We are at 40 million kilometers from the neutron star, sir. Hold your position.
Okay, so let me pick up the bridge. I'll polish it with my rag because I got my grubby grubs on it. Oops. I gotta put the stud in first. Now these studs screw in, as you can see, and they are made to adjust up and down for tension. Typically I put them all the way down. That's just what I do. Some people have them adjusted way up high here like this, to where there's almost no tension on the strings and it's almost level, unlike, you know, something like that. Me, I kind of like to put them pretty well level, if at all humanly possible. Flush with the body, I mean. So there is that. Okay, let's go ahead and Now I think we're cooking with gas.
The mother shapes her child in ways she doesn't even realize. Sometimes just piercing.
We'll tighten the strings up, put the bridge back in. Where's the bridge? Oh, there's the bridge.
Now that is healthy for a boy his age. I mean that as a doctor, not as just a mother.
Lift the strings up, put the bridge back. Okay, we'll tighten up the first string. And we'll just put a little bit of tension on the strings. We're not going to bring them up to tune or anything. We're just going to put some tension on them. Plain, pure, and simple tension. Just in case I got to take it off again. Which you never know, I might have to do. Make sure the string is in its guide. Ay. Goodness. Gracious land sakes alive. Okay. Sure the string is on its guide.
Entering Earth orbit.
And B string.
No, there's something I never get tired of looking at.
If you ask me, the seats could be a little more purple. That's why I don't think they weren't green enough.
I guess it's true what they say. There is no place like home, no matter what color the water is.
We better get ready, Benjamin. We're going to chat with Admiral Jasmine.
Make sure the string is in its groove. Why is the string? The string is. Okay. The string got crossed with the other one here. I don't know how that happened, but it did.
This better be good porker on an emergency channel.
Yep.
Just received a message from the Grand Nagus. He wants me to remind you of the critical role you play in establishing contact with the Dominion.
You can show me this. I mention his assistance prominently in my report to Starfleet.
There is one more, Commander. It seems the Nagus' nephew belongs to being held by Starfleet authorities.
Okay. Now I think we're cooking with gas.
My misunderstanding the Nagus no doubt wants to be cleared up. I do for him.
I think whoever changed that pickup to the modern pickup didn't know what they were doing and or forgot about the ground. And that is our issue. I'm hoping that's our issue. Make sure all the volumes, everything turned up. Let's plug it in and see what happens. If we've got tone, then we've got problem solved. So wish us luck here. Nope, we still got an issue. Okay. Now we gotta unplug it and retest the continuity and see if we got ground. So let's do that. Turn it over on its outside.
I want to go home and see Sonny and the kids and get some sleep. Wait, you anarchist? There's a law against sleeping in the streets. Though I do like the matching pajamas. All right, let's see some logo. Identification.
Okay, we got ground now. They were as before. We didn't have ground.
Shotguns and uniforms. Something very familiar.
Yeah, probably from the last time you were in a sanctuary district.
Sanctuary district? What year is this?
Same year as it was yesterday, 2024.
Let's go.
Okay, we cured one problem, but now we still have the original problem of low volume. Okay. Okay. So now I'm thinking it's a pot problem, because we cured the problem of the low volume. Or I'm sorry, we cured the problem of the ground. But the problem of the excuse me. Problem of the the low volume is still there. Okay, let me think here. It's grounded to the one-tone pot. Okay, the only other thing I can do is tie off these tie off these green and red wire together. Oh, duh. Okay. Okay. I need to solder back the pickup too. That helps.
The day shift isn't just for weekdays.
Just in case you didn't know that.
Yes, and aren't they glorious? H&I presents the Sunday.
Boy, I'm gonna get a piece of Christmas candy though right now because I need it.
One glorious 5-hour block of TV. It's Nash, House, Jag, Monk, and Numbers.
Okay, fine, good, more the merrier. I hope I made enough cookies.
The Sunday shift, every Sunday starting at noon, 11 Central on H&I.
Are you okay?
Oh, my head.
What happened? Did you get jacked or something?
Jack?
You know, Rob.
Oh,
Did they get your credit chips, your ID?
oh, it looks like they got everything. Except my brooch.
What? Do you live in here? Can you get home?
I was traveling with some friends and, I guess we got separated.
Well, you shouldn't be walking around without ID. You better order some replacements. You can use my interface terminal if you wish. My office is just around the corner.
That's very kind of you.
Chris Britton.
Jadzia.
That's a pretty name. What is that, Dutch?
Something like that. It's very kind of you to help me.
Oh, don't mention it. It's not every day that I get to rescue a damsel in distress. Let me help you. It's just this way.
Check the Heisenberg compensators. I'll go out and one diagnostic of the pattern buffers. See if there's any kind of feed signals.
Chief,
Mrs. Dartley?
nothing good. As far as they can tell, Commander Cisco never materialized in San Francisco. According to their Our transporter signal disintegrated immediately after we began the beam out sequence.
That doesn't look
Good
good.
treat for work.
The system log shows transport was successfully completed. Things will be materialized somewhere.
Well, that's good news anyway. But the question
Oh, okay. Enough lollygagging. Look what I got.
The only unusual thing was the variance in the annular confinement beam.
but you corrected for that.
Bam.
The beam is just reacting to the accumulation
Bam.
of chronoton particles in the ship's hull.
Chronoton particles.
They're emitted by the cloaking device. They sometimes become lodged in the ship's ablative armor matrix.
Wish I could give you one of these, Tricia.
Since the cloaking device was installed, there's never been a problem before.
Ooh. Oh.
Before the initiation of the transporter sequence.
Tell me that's a clue.
Oh, it's a clue, alright. I just don't know what it means yet.
Okay, I'm gonna bust one of these suckers open and have one. Just bought these at Wally World. Did I buy these at Wally World? Yeah, I bought them at Wally World. Wally World. That's what I call it. Or sometimes I call it Wall Fart. And sometimes I call it Fart Mart. Just because I can. You know? Okay, I'm gonna have me a cookie. I should get a napkin now. I'm gonna get a napkin because I get everything dirty.
Alright, let's go. Bring them. Okay, let's go. Hurry it up. Someone's gonna kill me, man. What is this place?
Okay, I don't want to get cookie crumbs all over the guitar. So I'm going to choose me out a cookie. If I don't drop them, getting them out, that is. Whoa. Do I want a green one or do I want a red one? I think I want the first one, which is a green one. Ooh, man, they're soft. Crumble up real easy. Okay. Got me cookie. Got me treat. Freshness seal. Not really. I don't know why they call these freshness seal. They don't seal very well. First place. I'll just put it here on the floor. And there's my cookie I'm about to have.
Bacterial meningitis.
Necrotizing fasciitis. Human African trypanosomiasis.
Boom.
No idea what I just said.
House. Sunday at 1, 12 Central. Right.
Oh. Come on, focus. Focus. Focus, pocus. There we go. Sorry, everyone. Gotta have a little Christmas treat while doing this Christmas stream for my friend, Truthfully Tricia. Okay, let's get this sucker soldered back to where it was. And we'll continue on. Yeah.
If you're stuck with slow DSL or cable, we've got great news. Super fast internet from Viasat is here. With Viasat internet, there's no more choppy video streaming, and you can connect multiple devices with total confidence. Try that with DSL or cell phone internet. Upgrade now to much faster internet. In fact, Viasat is 3 times faster than typical DSL. And Wi-Fi,
Okay, we got a problem here. I don't know what it is. Let's see. I need to clean the tip off here. Maybe it's got necrotizing fasciitis. Or maybe it has chronic necrotizing rectal fasciitis. I think that's maybe what it has. I think maybe that's the problem. Come on. There we go. Got some fresh solder on it.
It's the ease of getting the phones, using the phones, and for people of our generation, that's really important because we're not always tech savvy.
Because my granddaughter said I had to have one.
Okay.
Choose a phone that fits your needs. Consumer Cellular
Come
checks
on
to
now.
make sure that the plan fits you, who you are. I try to be honest and trustworthy, and I also think Consumer Cellular works that way. Same value as Stop paying too much.
I don't know what the problem is. No, it's not soldering.
With Consumer Cellular, I'm only paying for what I need.
By moving to Consumer Cellular, my cost is 50% less than it was.
I have everything I want with Consumer Cellular. I get a discount because ARP members get exclusive discounts. Their customer service is fabulous.
Okay, what's going on here?
I really feel like they take care of me.
There's not another provider in the industry.
I'd like to put some more solder on there.
We're proud to receive the JD Power Award for highest customer service 5 times in a row. It's easy to say.
Okay, there we go.
Use your own number. While wouldn't drive me away from Consumer
I'll solder this bad boy on there once and for all, I'm telling you.
Switch today and for a limited time get a $20 credit on any new line of service. Call 1-800-853-1372. Go online or visit a Target store today.
There we go. You give it a slight tug on the wire and see if that does a thing for you. Now we'll take these two wires, solder them together. Before I do that, I'm going to have to pre-tint the solder.
You know, those are very unusual.
Oh, you mean my tattoos?
It's amazing work. Where do you have them down? Japan?
How did you get it?
Well, I used to have one myself. A Maori tribal pattern used to go all the way down my arm.
We got it in high school back in the 90s, just like everybody else. Of course, I had to have it removed. Well, you know how it is. You get the government contracts, you have to to the drones. So I guess that makes me a sellout.
I'm going to have to use the... I don't want to drop any solder on the... Sometimes you can't just solder them together, you got to twist them together. Like that. And then solder them together.
You know, interface, operations, net access, channel 90. So, what do you think? Does that make me a sellout or not?
But I won't hold it against you.
Okay. Oh.
Is there any way for you to get a hold of me?
Okay, we'll try it again. See what that did for it. Hopefully that did it. If not, I'm going to have to make this a part 4 and go into another guitar because I have somebody coming over for another guitar tomorrow and I have to get that one out tonight because they only told me they wanted it this evening, so, and they're coming first thing tomorrow early afternoon, so I need to get it out, so I'll have to make a part part 4 of this video, if I can't finish this tonight in a timely fashion. Alright, here we go. Okay, we still got a problem. Of course, it's out of tune, so I'm not. Interesting.
The temporal surge we detected was caused by an explosion in capacity of the solar system. Somehow, the energy emitted by the singularity shifted the proton particles into a high state of temporal polarization. Which means what? Which means the transporter beam was redirected as it passed through the polarized particles. Redirected where? Not where. When? The beam was redirected through time, not space. They arrived in San Francisco just like they were supposed to.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, my solder job came undone. Son of a mother. Okay. We got some other issue here. I don't know what it is, unfortunately. Not yet. One thing, my solder job came off, so I'll have to redo that.
An elevation in design, a breakthrough in performance, and a tightly moved for a workout like nothing you've ever experienced before. Stride trainer, one-point track. Combine the benefits of the stepper, treadmill, and elliptical into a single machine that adapts itself to your body. Unlike standard equipment that forces you to an unnatural range of motion, the Stride trainer is designed ergonomically to adapt to the way you move instead of you.
Oh, mercy. Okay. I got the ground. Maybe I resoldered the ground. Sometimes you get what's called a cold solder, which means it's on there, but it's not making a connection. So that could be an issue. So I will do that. next. For some reason the soldering on this is not cooperating. Come on. Okay, now we're cooking, I think. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Sanctuary residents will take over the district. Some of the guards will be taken hostage. The government will send in troops to restore order. Hundreds of sanctuary residents will be killed. Hundreds. And there's nothing we can do to prevent it.
For some reason I'm not soldering this. I very rarely have issues with soldering, but for some reason this wire is...
The riots will be one of the watershed events of the 21st century. Gabriel Bell will see to that. Bell, the man who made the riots out. He is one of the sanctuary residents who will be guarding the hostages. The government troops will storm this place based on rumors that the hostages...
Come on, tent. Get this thing to tent properly.
In the end, Bell sacrifices his own life to save them. He'll become a national hero. Outrage over his death and the death of the other residents will change public opinion about the sanctuaries. They'll be torn down, and the United States will finally begin correcting the social problems it has struggled with for over 100 years. And all of this is going to happen in the next few days. Which means if we warn these people about what's coming, if we try to help them in any way, the risk of factory. And we can't let that happen. Hey, I hate to break up your intimate conversation. Would you please?
Oy vey. Interesting on this guitar. Excuse me. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Crumbs all over the place.
I guess I owe you an apology if I had known you were Jimmy, but I could have processed your application much sooner.
I'm sorry.
They're American slang terms.
I try not to use it. It's a bad habit. Jimmy's are people like you, people who are looking for help, a job, a place to live.
Now, and what about the Dims? Don't they need help?
The dim should be in hospitals.
Check, make sure we got a ground on this son of a mother.
I hate it, but that's the way it is. I see here that you both just arrived in San Francisco.
Okay,
Do you
you
have a
hear
job?
that tone?
No, actually we weren't planning on staying here very long.
Have you got a place to stay?
That
or
means you
are
got a good common ground.
No, we were traveling with a friend, but we were separated.
Everything is grounding. This ground is not,
Well, in that case,
I repeat, not the issue.
sanctuary for the time being.
that being said,
And it's the law.
What about jobs? How are we supposed to find a place to work? Somewhere to live if we are stuck in here.
Oh, one of the services we provide is job.
white.
And how long does that usually take?
I wish I could give you a definite answer, but job
Plug it in again, see if that did anything. I'm gonna say probably no, but you never know. Maybe it's just me being pessimistic. Jesus. Nope, that's volume turned all the way up.
One more thing. Worked and underpaid. Just give them a lot of space. And watch out for ghosts. That's
Okay.
what we call people who have integrated work in sanctuary. They can be dangerous and they tend to prey on the residents.
Can't be all three of the pickups doing all three of the same thing at the same time. So, that being said,
Please respond.
I'm going to say it's probably the volume pot. Or the tone pot, rather.
My assistant was able to
Because it's just not getting tone.
for the next 5 nights.
You didn't have to do that.
I know that, but I wanted to. So, what are your plans?
So if I unsolder
Well,
this,
but I had Britt do some checking. No one matching the descriptions has been admitted to any of the city hospitals.
and then solder in a new
Look,
tone
I'd
pot,
like to know how this turns out.
Tch.
I'm not gonna get together.
then we'll get that. See, eliminate that issue if it's tone pot. This is a tone pot and all these are volume pots. I can't see it being all three pickups or all three volume pots. Each pickup has their own volume, and then you have a master tone. It's not the switch because it's not the switch, or it's not the jack. So those are very simple. Those are simple pieces, if you will. So I'm going to get out another pot. And see. I have many pots, so it's not a big deal. Even have Gibson pots. So that being said, that's a complete one now. If I use just this pot, if I use just that pot, there's another pot. These are called pots. That's what a pot looks like. When you turn it, it turns the tone or the volume. There's no such thing as a volume pot or a tone pot. They're all one and the same. You can use one pot. You could use this. In other words, I could use this pot as volume and or as tone. So that being said, I think what I'm going to have to do is unsolder this ground. Unsolder it. And solder it to this one and see what happens, you know? I don't know. You got different types of pot. This is a long shaft pot. I think the ones that are in here are a short shaft. If I confirm it's the pot, then I'll get in my stock and get another. I'll get a short shaft pot, if you will. And yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Justice has a name. Jag. Sunday at 2, 1 Central. On H&I.
I have to put this in the vise. Okay, well. At least I have my trusty vise I just got for Christmas. Right here. My trusty vise. My trusty Miami vise. You just open up the jaws on this mother. And I'm going to take this off now because I don't need it there anymore. Because I don't. I'll keep the tag though. I'll put the tag in there. And then we put the vise. Put the pot in the vise. Tight and crank down on it because it's not what we're trying to do with it. I might need to oil this vise a little bit. It's a little bit rough. Or maybe it'll work itself. It'll work itself hard. It'll work itself loose. So now I can solder this and take this tab off the ground. Come on now. You just blow on that solder until it's hardened up again. I need a solder gun holder. That's what I need next. Maybe I'll get one of those for my birthday next week. My birthday is January 1st. Okay. Okay. Alright, ground wire. Oh no.
I've narrowed it down to a dozen different possibilities, but we only have enough polarized chronotons to make 5 or 6 attempts.
And we'll have to take our chances. Pick the most likely time periods and send a team down with tricorders to find them. The hard part will be to find a couple of volunteers crazy enough to risk getting lost in time to do the job.
I think I know a few likely candidates.
Now we'll solder this ground to the pot.
If we ever get home, I promise never to complain about the station's Kardashian beds ever again. Oh, where is everybody?
Okay. Ooh, don't touch it, it's hot.
Am I not surprised? When you're finished eating, I think we should get up on the roof of one of these buildings. I want to get a better look at the place. Do you think there's a way out of here? If there is, told you we don't have any room. We're not here to stay. All we want to do is to get up on the roof and take a look. No matter what you want. You can't come in. We gotta protect what's ours around here.
Shoot. Okay. See another problem. I'm gonna have to take that part completely off. I'm just gonna have to.
That's what I thought.
Dag nabbit. Okay. Didn't want to, but it looks like I'm gonna have to. Not a big deal, just an annoyance. I'll get it fixed. I'm not worried about it. It's just one of those things. This is a short shaft aluminum pot. And then we got the two white.
Whatever you say, just put the knife down.
Step into the light so I can see you.
We're new here. We're just trying to get to the roof, get a better look at the place.
Believe me.
Aye, aye, aye. Alright.
You'll be okay, Danny.
Dang nabbit. Ground. Ground.
My wife went to get help, but there's only one doctor on duty at the processing center. Well, why don't you let me take a look? I know a little bit about medicine.
Sure.
To just look.
Okay.
Just take a quick look here, okay?
I need a solder holder. This is the original pot right here. I'm going to set it aside. And then I'm going to solder the two wires to the pot.
Looks like you've been lucky. No broken ribs. And these cuts are mostly superficial. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna need some clean rags and something to disinfect these wounds. Alcohol should do. I think I can get some. Okay.
Okay. Now I need to solder the grounds to the pot.
You know, the district could use another doctor. I don't really practice anymore. But there are people here who need you.
I'm sorry, but they'll have to get along without me.
That's going to be a little tricky because it's going to be a little tricky.
The only help we're gonna get is from each
Oh
other.
man.
We're finished.
All we want is to be left alone.
My mistake. I thought you wanted to get out of here.
We do.
Well, the only way that's going to happen is if we get organized and let people on the outside know what's going on in here.
Do whatever you want. Just leave us out of it.
If you want to be left
I'm going
alone,
to attempt this. I don't know.
that's fine with me.
I need to grow a fourth hand or something
You want to
because
help us and help yourselves. You know where to find me.
give it a little tug and make sure it's
Ready to go into operation. The Pan-Caribbean government did
okay.
some misgivings.
Plug it in, see what happens. I have my damn cookie first though.
I hear you just came back from Christchurch.
You're lucky. We had to cancel our trip to the Alps this year because of the student protest.
I thought the neo-Trotskyists.
Alright, first thing, we'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Europe is falling apart.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about that kind of thing here. You'll count on it.
You'll have to excuse Jadzia's cynicism. She was just mugged yesterday. That kind of thing's bound to give a negative impression in the future.
So, who mugged you? Did you see them? It doesn't really matter. I'm just glad that I wasn't hurt.
Well, whoever it was did a very thorough job. They took everything she had, including her ID.
Chris rescued me and let me use his computer to get my replacement ID.
You were lucky the police didn't find you first. If they caught you on the street without ID, you might have ended up in a sanctuary district.
I thought they stopped doing that.
Why would they? It's the only way to keep those people off the streets.
Excuse us.
Okay. Okay.
Isn't it true?
All right. Flip it over
ID to a sanctuary.
carefully. Plug it in. See what happens. Wish me luck.
Can we check and see if they're inside?
Well, it looks like that pot was the problem. Full tone. I need to flip the pot over and turn it. So it looks like this pot is the issue. I'm gonna see if I got another short shaft pot. I'm pretty sure I do. If not, I could take this pot apart and see if I can fix it. Because if you're very careful, you can spread the tabs apart and do that. So we know it's a pot issue now. Seemingly so. Ground. And that's grounded to that, and then in turn, okay. Okay. Okay, have the rest of my cookie. Again, this is a Epiphone Les Paul Custom from the year 1999. It is serial number 0001, which means it's the first guitar off the assembly line for Epiphone for the year 1999. So it's a special guitar, and I'm dedicating this stream to my good friend, truthfully, Trisha. She's She's great and wonderful. And check her out. She is awesome. That being said, I'm going to try and find another pot. I'm almost positive I got one. I just have to look. Now that we've eliminated. I'm getting cookie crumbs all over, of course. I'm going to see what kind of pot I got. Electrical pot, not the kind of pot you smoke. Electrical pot. Electrical pot. Oh. Here's my giant box of used vintage pots. Well, one of my many boxes. This is just one I have readily available. But I got pots and switches and stuff up in here. This is about 50 years worth of collecting. Not that I started, my dad started the collection. But that being said, yeah, my dad started the collection. So I got a lot of pots in here. Fortunately, I see a lot of long shaft pots. Oh, here's one. It's an exact duplicate. It's an exact duplicate of the other one. Here's one I just found. Here's the original. See? They are both virtually the same, except one that the plate is a little bit darker. Or lighter, I should say. But it's a short shaft. You always want to put them side by side like this and look at the shaft, make sure the shafts are the same length. You can do it one of two ways. You can do it like this, and then you can do it like this and see if they match. And they should buttress right together. If you go like that and you got a big gap, then you know one's shorter or longer than the other. So this is the original. This is a newer one, and this is a 1990. This is a 1999 pot. Because everything I have in this box is 1980s and 1990s and nothing else. Nothing older and nothing newer than that. So. Oh. Okay. So now we got our pot. So now I'm going to unsolder this pot and put that pot in. So we'll do that. If I can find my soldering gun. Oh, there it is. And you just want to remember where everything goes. There you go. And I'm going to have to take I need a holder. I need the, is this going to work? Kind of, okay. I'm going to need to take, because see the new pot does not have a capacitor on it. So I'm going to have to take the capacitor off of that and put it here. Which is not a big deal. So I will just go ahead and do that right now. Put my view up a little bit so you can see me doing the work. Well, you really can't see too well, can you? Okay, that's good enough. I need to see my ugly mug anyway. Okay, now when you put these pots in, just very lightly in a vise, or if you have a soldering station with alligator clips, but if you put it in a vise too tightly, you'll out of round it and you'll start squishing parts, and you don't want to do that, so that would not be very copacetic. So you just heat it up, and this is a little ground wire that somebody had put ground the one of the tabs to the body. Sometimes you just pinch it over, but the tabs aren't long enough to pinch over, so you put a little guide wire. So we're just going to take this little guide wire off, and I keep these little guide wires, and I just, you know, keep them.
They're kids. And try to look their best. They're not derelicts. No matter what they say about us.
Okay. It's hot. It is hot, 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 hot. Hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot. Okay.
When can we get them out?
So now you have to solder this wires here to it. That we can do by hand pretty easily, I think.
If that's all it's for, then why is there a wall around it? Next on H&I, Star Trek Voyager, followed by Enterprise, then NYPD Blue. H&I.
We made a mistake here. We just do it over. Retirement planning? You might not get a second chance. Personal capital can help.
Okay. Now we gotta solder the grounds to it.
At touchofmodern.com, things you'd never think possible are totally attainable. The shoes are handmade, furniture blows.
We gotta solder the capacitor to it. See, so I gotta take the capacitor off. Solder it to the other one.
This is H&I. That can't possibly be as poignant as it sounds. Your home for captivating, action-packed dramas. Fascinating. Say hi to H&I.
2 days until the process is coming. We just read the word.
Okay. Hot. Hot mother sucker. I thought I could grab it. Sometimes I can grab it quick enough, but I obviously was not quick enough, was I? Yeah. Oy vey. These are good capacitors. These are good 47 ultrafarad capacitors. So, take my little pliers and we'll solder it to it. And keep going. We should be able to get this done, I'm thinking now, so. Okay, now we solder the capacitor to it. And then we can solder the grounds to it. So we'll get this.
Maybe if we're lucky, I might even be able to stage a nice. I hope that meets with your approval. Do as he says.
I'm pretty darn confident we'll get this done now. I'm pretty darn confident. Might need to put a little extra solder.
Ain't that right, new boy? My name is Bell. Gabriel Bell.
Oh, come on now. Come on. There, I think that's it. Can't tell though. I'll pick it up with pliers because it's hot. I'll burn myself like I did a minute ago. Nope, I didn't quite get it. Okay. I'm gonna have to hold it this way by the shaft and then let the solder droop down to it. There we go. Now it's getting hot in my hand. Sorry this is taking so many tries. It's just one of those things where it's taken so many tries. Chad, I'm not trying not to ignore you, but at least you can see my shirt better. Tonight's show, along with part 1 and 2, are brought to you by Guitar Center of Glendora, California. Okay. That being said, now we're going to solder the ground wires to the guitar. I think we are anyway. Might have to have a lot of solder. I don't know. I knew that was going to happen. Oh well. I need an extra tool. I need a holder for this soldering gun. No, I can't do it this way. I need more hands. But I can do it this way. Oh, come on, that's not what I want to do either. Come on now. Fudge. That's not going to work because it's too far away. There we go. There we go. Goodness gracious, land sakes alive. Okay, for corn's sake. Okay, now I think we can solder the ground wire to the pot, the main ground wire. So let's do that.
Is tenacious and strong-willed. Approach with extreme caution. And his brother Charlie is a brilliant mathematical genius. Math is the real world. It's everywhere. So when the crimes multiply, their strengths add up.
Come on.
I'd say so.
There we go.
On behalf of the Brothers Epps, I thank you. Numbers, all day tomorrow, starting at 11:10 Central. Part of the D Shift.
The reason I'm blowing on it is to cool the solder off to hard form faster. So otherwise, you kind of have to almost heat up the entire pot body in order to get this sucker going. So with that being said,
Naturally, no one was available to fix the malfunction. So Kulak had to stretch his bulking patience to the limit.
Now I can mount it, and we'll see what this sucker's gonna friggin' do for us. I think we'll be okay now. I think.
He dressed me down in front of 3 Starfleet admirals for failing to observe proper tactical procedures during my first command. My human ego took a little bruising, but of course, he was right. Over the past 9 years, I've come to rely on his insightful and unfailingly
So we're getting it. Taking a little longer than I anticipated, but especially in tonight's stream. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. I mean, we fixed 2 issues that nobody else could find. And they probably created the issues to begin with, so. That being said, I think we're golden.
During my 3 years on Voyager, I have grown to respect a great many of you. Others,
So, I mean, I hate to replace an original pot, but it is what it is.
to ensure a safe passage home. As a Vulcan, I share the following sentiment. Live long and prosper.
Tighten this pot down very carefully, because we just made a lot of effort to put it on, so. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, put this away.
No, I meant it. But I don't expect you to reciprocate. Really, you can just become an
Okay, I got my fingerprints all over everything I just polished, so now I gotta clean it up again. Okay, let's plug this in, check our work. With any luck, it'll not only sound as good, but it'll sound better. Camera view back for you guys.
You want me to be the new nurse, if that's the title you prefer? It will only be temporary, 3 duty shifts a week. Report to sick bay at 0600 hours. Bring a tricorder and a smile. We'd like to enhance the astrometrics lab. It hasn't been upgraded since we entered that space.
And if everything's good, I'll wash my hands, come back, and then we'll do the setup on this. Right, here we go. Push me luck. It's doing the same thing with a different pot. This is really interesting. Wow. I am shocked. What is the problem now? What? What is the problem now? I'm gonna take this ground off. Because it was working fine, unmounted from the guitar, remember? Now it's not.
I don't want you leaving Voyager unless it's absolutely necessary. I'm still concerned.
So what's changed? The capacitor?
This is a hologram. One of my own kind, so to speak. I don't need it. The rest of us will meet with you in the field.
I'll be a monkey's uncle. Okay, it's the capacitor. It's not the ground. Then what the heck else could it be?
I'd like to work with you.
Hi. Yes.
So I'm going to take the capacitor off.
32B. Enhance the atomic sensors.
Thought we'd fix the problem, and we did. But now it's acting
Apprehensive.
strange.
The last time we worked together, I struck you at the base of your skull and attempted to
The only thing that changed was adding the capacitor to it,
I assure you it will not happen again.
other than the ground. So we're going to take this capacitor off. Maybe the capacitor is bad.
Additional sensors. Some of the alphanumerics are born.
Okay, we've unsoldered the capacitor. Now we'll plug it back in and see what it's going to freaking do.
That was a joke. You know.
I understand.
Doing the same thing. I'll be damned. I don't know what's going on here now. Take it back off. Let's see what's changed.
I'm sure we'll find
I don't get it.
That's not what I'm concerned about.
Okay, now it's acting loud.
a very responsible
Very interesting. I'm going to take that capacitor all the way off because I don't get it. I don't get what's happening to it.
No response. New energy readings, but they're erratic. Propulsion and main power are down.
We're approaching transporter range.
Okay, capacitor's off. Now we're going to plug it back in again. Try it again. Okay, so now I'm thinking it wasn't the pot, it was the capacitor.
We're here to help you.
It's this crazy ass capacitor. Okay, maybe the capacitor was bad. I'm stepping on my cookie box. Always something, isn't it, folks? But I'm pretty astute at finding the issues. Very seldomly does a capacitor go bad, but guess what? They can go bad. Pretty few and far between that they'll go bad, but like I said, they will go bad. Now I just need to find another capacitor. It's another 47 ultra farad, and then we'll be golden. I don't have any more orange drops. I'm almost out of orange drops, and I'm saving them for Gibson's. So, with that being said, we've got green drops, and we've got yellow drops. Shyster shoots.
You can never tell when you're being sarcastic.
A 5-hour sampler of the day shift weekday trouble.
Suppose I could try one of the green drops. Let's see what it does for it. Okay, I'll show you the difference. Here's a brown drop, and here's a green drop. Capacitor. This is the one out of the guitar that seems to be the bad one. This is another one off of another pot. So I'm going to take the green one off and put it in there and see what it does. So let's try that, ladies and germs. And the the capacitors are just made out of ceramic, so they will crack and stuff. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the thing back first. Maybe. Shoot. Let me look at it. See if I can do it. I can do it without taking the pot out again. Okay, so tighten this back up again. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, capacitor. Let's do this. Sorry, I didn't move the camera. I'm just taking the capacitor off of the other pot that I just showed you a second ago. That's all I'm doing. For Pete's sake, come on. Okay. Okay, now I gotta solder the ground back on it. So I'm gonna have to re-tint the ground wire again. Okay. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there.
Oh, of course. I'd appreciate that. Over there. You can access my systems from that console.
Okay, now the tricky part's going to be soldering the capacitor in, only because we don't have very much meat on the leads to work with, so I think it'll be okay. I might need a stand to do it. I don't know. No, I think I can. Let's see. I'm gonna have to have a very steady hand. Oops, dang it. Almost.
When they came back, they've been infected by a deadly virus. It's spread to the other organics.
Almost.
Well, I watched them all die. I had limited knowledge of the controls. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come.
I think I've stabilized your program, but only access to your primary isometrics. Where is it?
On the lower deck.
Okay.
That deck's been filled with any matter radiation. Organic flesh would disintegrate within seconds. You can access my isometrics from this deck. There's an interface junction in that compartment.
Okay, now tin it with solder. And if this doesn't work, I'm leaving the capacitor off. Or think about something else to do, because it seems to be a capacitor issue.
I'd like to hear it. And everything else.
Merciful. Alright, let's plug this son of a mother. Let's go it in and see what it does. So I'm ready to put the setup on it and finish it up. Alright, wish me luck again. Okay, I'm going to leave the capacitor off of it because it seems to... I think what happened now was whoever worked on this guitar last put capacitors on it when it didn't have capacitors. and it messed with the sound and he didn't know what to do, so he just left it. That's what I'm thinking happened now. So now I'm going to take the capacitor off. And I'll put it back on the other pot.
The optical assembly is properly aligned. I'm ready to access the main power supply.
Back to you.
Okay. Now very quickly I'm going to plug the guitar back in and see if the sound has changed. And I'd be almost willing to bet anything that it's better. It helps if you plug in the guitar though, doesn't it? Okay, now it's doing the same thing. Jeez-a-loo. Okay, the ground wire. The ground wire's in the wrong spot. I'm going to take the ground wire off.
Actually, I know exactly what it's like. When I was first activated, I was regarded as the one coordinating the tricorder. I had to ask for the privileges I deserved. The right to be included in crew briefings. The ability to turn my program on and off.
Try it again.
It took some time, but I believe I've earned the respect of the crew as an equal. I've also been pursuing personal interests. Art, literature, music. Perhaps you can
Now what's wrong with my amp?
then you'll convince them. Maybe they'll appreciate how well you've coped with the situation, how you managed to find help.
Jesus, my amp unplugged itself. Jeez-a-loo. It's doing the same thing. That's interesting. The tone changes when you tighten the friggin' thing up. Why the frig is that? Interesting. Isn't that freaking interesting?
No. No, I understand.
Interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting. See that? When I tighten the nut up on it, it goes deaf.
I'm going to go get it up and update. I exist as pure energy. But you depend on food and water to survive. Look at you. Look at you.
Come on.
Bits of plants and
Interesting, isn't it, folks? Very, very interesting. I have to think about this one for a minute. I really have to think about this one for a minute. Why is it doing this?
I'm sorry to hear that. But you have to realize that
I see. I see something. Very interesting. Son of a mother.
But someone's got to do it.
Sorry, I just had a thing about dirt.
Monk. Sunday.
I don't think the pot was bad or the capacitor was bad now. There's a chunk of wood missing right here. You see this chunk of wood missing, and it's got this black paint, which is kind of a conductive paint, if you will. Shielding paint. And since this chunk of wood is missing, thus the paint is missing. So when I tighten down on the pot to the body, we lose tone. Interesting. I need to find a washer wide enough to put on there so it'll make contact with it, like this. Son of a. Interesting, isn't it? Very interesting problem. So now I'm thinking probably the pot is perfectly fine. So I might put the original pot back. In fact, I think I am going to put the original pot back, because now I don't think there's a dang thing wrong with it. I need to get some contact cleaners.
I've got 2 industry leaders to help protect my identity and my device. LifeLock with Norton. Call 1-800-357-6022 or visit lifelocktvoffer.com. Use promo code TVOffer to get a free shredder with annual membership. Call now.
This is an urgent message from the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. There is an emergency food crisis for elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union.
This is a fight against time. What we're dealing with is coming out, meeting someone who's 85, 90 years old, can't get around, has no food, has no water, and just wants to give up and die. And that's where we come in.
Okay, I have now come to the executive order. I'm going to put the old pot back.
These people, to be a blessing to their lives.
Oh, Lordy. Lordy. Okay. Here we go. Excuse me. Well, can you beat that, folks? So now I'm going to put the pot back in and solder the capacitor back in. Middle.
We've got a problem. No. I think there's a problem with our iPhone, and I'm not talking about it a bit.
Very careful.
I just spent the last 10 minutes doing reviews on
Take the original capacitor and solder it back.
Did you realize that we organics are a bunch of inferior, disgusting animals? He started ranting about how much he despises organics. I didn't think I was going to get out of there that night.
I will admit he is somewhat socially inept.
Inept. He's a lunatic.
That is hardly a sound medical diagnosis.
He has also been lying to us. I just ran a tricorder scan at the lower deck so I could send those slides. Well, it's not.
Why would he lie about that?
No. Maybe he doesn't want us to go down there. He's hiding something.
I understand your concerns, Lieutenant. I've been talking to him as well, and I recognize that he has some behavioral difficulties. Imagine trapped in a room other than a storage compartment. And he's developed no interaction with organic food.
Okay.
It's only natural he's developed.
Merciful Minerva.
Do you recall my own behavior when I was first activated?
How could I forget you were in major pain?
My point is, I too was somewhat alienated from the rest of the crew. It took me a few days.
So, solder it back.
I realize that he is a fellow hologram, and that you are committed to helping him. But I want the ability to shut down his program if I have to.
If you really feel that's necessary.
I'm going to search the lower deck, see if I can access his primary access.
Okay.
Am I interrupting?
No. Actually, I was just...
Now the grounds.
I'd like you to meet someone. Doctor, this is Spectrum. A holographic fish. Magnificent, isn't he? So peaceful and so content. I programmed him to keep me company. Well, don't you have a pet? No, it wouldn't be appropriate. Not in a medical environment. They wouldn't let me have him either. I had to hide him. He's very lifelike. I didn't realize you had such a talent for holographic design. Oh, I've programmed all sorts of things.
This node contains forward navigational data.
How do we get it out of here?
The proper instrument was part of my thoracic assembly before the doctor removed it. I suggest a radical dislocation.
A what?
We need to pull it out. Assist me.
Okay. On 3.
3.
On the count of 3, we pull together.
Crude but effective.
1, 2, 3.
I've been damaged.
Ooh, that looks pretty bad. You better get to sick bay.
It's a drone I would have regenerated within seconds. I've become weak.
No more than the rest of us. You'll be fine. Come on. I'll walk you there.
We're making headway. We're at 2 hours almost. Okay, the capacitor's back. Everything is back the way it was originally from the factory, more or less. Now.
What are you talking about? Can't you see she's feeling vulnerable? And here you are going on about severed nerves and major surgery? Take it easy. I was just trying to lighten the mood. She wasn't upset by it. Yes, she was. I could see it on her face. She was a little protective this morning. Regretting being in the same room with her. Well, I've gotten to know her a little better. I don't think most people realize she's not just some Borg automaton. She's actually very complex. Oh, really? Yes, she is. She's got a sense of humor. It's offbeat. A bit subtle, maybe. And she's incredibly intelligent. She ought to be. She's assimilated enough people. See? See what I mean? It's Borg this, Borg that. You can't resist making a joke.
I'll just leave it in there loose. And then we'll see what it's going to do. I have to throw that washer away because I destroyed it like a dummy.
Not at all.
We're making headway, though. I am happy about that.
I've seen this
Then I'll
look
put
in your
this
eyes, right?
away and this away.
You always go for the tough ones. What was it last time? A hologram? I don't know much about Borg.
Okay, let's plug this sucker in and see what it does.
Make her feel like part of the team. Part of the team? You sound like Chakotay.
Far so good. Look at that, it stopped. Consider that problem solved. Problem solved. Very strange problem, but problem solved. Now somebody the other day asked me, why does the guitar sound so bassy and tough? Well, you got 3 humbuckers in here for one thing, so it's going to have a very bassy, aggressive sound. That's just the way it is. Now I'm going to solder this pot back. The capacitor back on this pot, because I'll use this pot for something else. Then I'll wash my hands, and then we'll finish the, we'll start the setup on this. Okay, I'll put that pot back. Yeah, I'm gonna consider that done. It's tight, so that's a very strange problem. So I'm pretty sure that's what the other person ran into. And they were probably like, what the hell? They were getting the same issue, so okay. Let's go ahead and continue with the setup on it, or start it. We had never even started it. But it did have a ground issue, which we fixed, so I'm happy about that. Have a couple of wires to nip off.
And this is the sensor grid. You'll find it most useful when you base get that to just me. I wish I could protect you. You
That's good.
more than a slave to these biological creatures.
Okay. Tighten that up. So we made a lot of progress. I've encountered that problem before, but not in a long time. Okay, let's get this into some sort of a tune here. is fixed.
You'll get all these free retirement and investing tools. Plus this free guide, 65 ways to retire smart. It's packed with tips to help you
plan. Okay. What was I gonna do next? I forget. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Getting there. best believe that.
To open this control panel. My engineering kit. It's on that console.
I thought you said you took all of the emitters offline.
I did. Why?
I think you better go and check.
Intonation's pretty good, so I'm not going to have to mess with it too much.
You lied to me. I thought you were my friend. It's for your own benefit. Some of the instrument carrier program is malfunctioning. You're unstable. No. You're unstable. You're This could be a tease.
Okay, well that's what we have so far on it at 2 hours and 15 minutes. Double check the tune, the intonation's perfect, pickup height is perfect, bridge height is perfect. We did everything. Now, I'm going to have to polish some of it again because I got my fingerprints all over it when doing repairs. So there is that issue. But we've got it all soldered up. We'll be able to finish this thing tonight, looks like. Ooh, I need to take a rest for a minute because my back is hurting. But again, this guitar is the 1999 Epiphone Les Paul Custom SG that I chose to do a tribute stream, a thank you stream, a friend stream, if you will, to my good friend here, Truthfully Trisha, here on YouTube, Doobie. And this guitar has a serial number of 00001, which means this guitar was the first guitar off the assembly line for the year 1999. Hence why it has that serial number on it. So it's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and put the back cover on it now that we're done. Oop. And we just have to do the final soldering of the ground back on, and then we can do the rest of the setup on it. Okay. So we're golden on this guitar now. Go ahead and take the vise off, this great new vise I got for Christmas, which is pretty darn badass. And we'll go ahead and put it back in the box. That's okay. It doesn't have to fit all the way back in the box. Ooh, soldering gun's still hot, so put that to the side and then unplug it. Soldering station.
I'm sure Seven can handle things without me.
Whoa. Then we'll put this back cover back on.
No problem. Because if you are, I'd like to hear about it. No, sir, there's no problem. Not at all. Absolutely not. So if you're with me, I'll be going now. Engine gear. Let's have it.
Okay, let's put this back cover back on it.
We had a misunderstanding.
And then we'll be able to finish this guitar tonight. And dedicating the stream to my friend, Truthfully Tricia, on YouTube here.
She finds you reasonably efficient and says you've been helping her learn more about our complex social interactions. Any idea what she meant by that? Can't imagine. You two make a good team. I want to keep you together on this project. Bye, sir. And maybe others in the future. Have fun.
Okay. I'm pretty proud of this guitar. Took 3 streams to get it done, but that's okay. Had fun doing it too. It's not all work. That's for sure. It's not all work. Definitely not all work. It's fun work. It is work, but it's fun work. I'll put it that way. So I'll wash my hands real quick, and I'll be right back, and we'll polish this up again. Oh, I gotta tighten the back of the strap button. It came loose on me. There we go. Okay, be right back.
You are going to help me sterilize every square millimeter of this sick bay. No doubt you've left your oily residue on every hypo spray, your sloughed secretion on every console. Just kidding. In fact, I've had a change of heart about my fastidiousness. A little clutter never hurt anyone. Sick bay should have a more organic touch, don't you think? To help our patients feel more at home. What's gotten into you?
It's a long story.
Okay, folks. Hands washed. Let me check Twitter and Facebook and all that jazz.
Gunslingers to Klingons and every character in between. This is H&I.
Oh, man. Okay. Excuse me, I got the burpees a little bit. Okay. Problem's fixed.
Why am I here? What do you want?
The grounding problem, the pickup problem. And, yeah, grounding problem, pickup problem. fix those problems up. Now let's polish this sucker up and finish it. And we'll be golden. We will be golden on this guitar. I'm not going to polish too much on it, I don't think. I'm just probably going to do the body again. And probably that's about it. The body. Maybe the neck, back of the neck. No, I don't even think I'll do the back of the neck again. I'm pretty happy the way it turned out. It's, you know, pretty happy. We'll just polish my fingerprints off of it and polish it again. And then we'll call this guitar done. I won't just call it done, it will be done. And then I'll have pictures of it on Facebook and Twitter tomorrow. And Truthfully Trisha and Tomahawk Sean can see it on my Facebook and Twitter tomorrow too. And I don't expect them to sit and watch 6 hours of video I did on this guitar. Though they said they'd watch some of it, but I don't expect them to just sit down and watch all of it. If it were maybe a half-hour video total, they might, but that's okay. Yeah, this is fun. This is fun. What are you talking about? So who'd have thunk it was that mounting? You know, this craziness. Who'd have thunk? Sometimes checking the most simplest things first can greatly reduce your problem, diagnosing a problem, that is. I usually do that, but I figured it was that pickup, because that's the only thing that's been changed or touched on the guitar, so it wasn't unreasonable to think it would be the pickup. So there we go. We got the guitar done. And we're doing pretty good. We'll take some great pictures of it tomorrow, weather permitting, and show this to Trisha, because that's who this guitar is dedicated to, the stream, to Truthfully Trisha.
Up until now, I didn't know why. She'll never cooperate. She may not have a choice.
Perfectly tuned, perfectly intonated, we're pretty good. Again, this is a Epiphone Les Paul Custom SG. And what makes this so special is because, for one thing, it's a Les Paul Custom SG with 3 pickups, and it's serial number 00001, which means it's the first guitar that was produced for model year 1999. And I chose this guitar to do a dedication stream to Truthfully Trisha, because this is a unique, one-of-a-kind guitar, and she's a unique, one-of-a-kind person. So that's why I did this. And I'll be right back.
If we can damage one of them, would it disrupt the entire grid?
Maybe. It also might have no effect. We just don't have enough information yet.
Keep at it.
Aye, sir.
Cooperation, this won't be necessary. Wait.
After the injection, the parasites will invade your neocortex. Once they begin reconfiguring your synaptic pathways, you'll be much more compliant. Before, your private brain is too badly damaged to understand. I want to thank you for helping us destroy your world.
Be right back.
If they stayed in the vortex, we wouldn't have found them.
They're less than 4 light years from here.
Why aren't they stopped? They could have been halfway to Earth by now.
They're attempting to arm the weapon. The propulsion system has to be offline to do it.
How quickly can we get there?
That wouldn't be wise. They've been joined by at least a dozen vessels.
We have nearly as many ships.
You may have noticed that reptilians and insectoids are more belligerent than we are. Their ships are armed accordingly.
We're no match for them.
We did not come to force them. We did not come this way to give up without a fight. Would the aquatics be a match for them?
Their ships are extremely powerful, but they've seen your evidence. They're not convinced.
That was before the reptilians murdered Degra and stole the weapon. We're looking at civil war. Can they afford to sit back and do nothing? Let me talk to them.
You'd have to have a custom shop.
Now is the time to dissolve the council. So we should leave our fate in the hands of the reptilians and insectoids?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah. Took me 3 days to figure out the electrical problem on that.
Be ignored.
Yeah.
I didn't quite catch that last one.
Okay. Had to show that to the family. And they think it is stellar. They think it is absolutely stellar. And it is stellar. It's stellar, stiller. Boom. So we got this guitar done, finally. Whew. Few trials and tribulations, but we got it done. Fretboard and frets came out beautiful. We changed out this pickup. And pickup cover. It originally had this crazy thing in it. Somebody swapped it out for this one. I don't know, I guess they were going for a different tone or something, and I think that's when they created, whoever changed the pickup created this problem, and then they just kind of let the guitar go, if you will, set it to the side, whatever you want to call it, and had that problem with it. So we'll put these pickups back and stuff. Make a little more room on my desktop here. Oh. So we'll put that pickup back, and we got another pickup that I chose, just in case that one was bad. We'll put these, and we'll use these pickups for another project at some point. Spare parts, extra parts. Now we have this pickup here for this Telecaster project we got sitting over here. So we'll do that next week and get that done. So we got plenty of projects to keep us busy here all winter, clear into the spring even. So we're doing pretty good. Ooh, mercy. So yeah, when they changed out this pickup, they did something, I don't know, and it took a chunk of wood out of the bottom of the mount for where I showed you, and instead of just simply taking the chunk, they probably threw it away. You never do that. You always glue it right back. You glue it right back on. They weren't thinking that they'd need it, and that's what created this ground problem. And then there was a ground problem here, which you saw me fix earlier. So that's fixed. Everything is fixed on the guitar. It's 100% working, and it's got beautiful tone and sound. You guys heard it. Beautiful guitar. Epiphone Les Paul Custom SG from the year 1999. It was built in March of 1999 with a consecutive serial number of 0001, which means it was the first guitar off the assembly line in the year 1999. And I chose this guitar to do a special dedication stream to my friend Truthfully Tricia here on YouTube, and her husband, Tomahawk Sean. Both really great lady and really great guy. Check them out here. Again, their names are Truthfully Tricia and Tomahawk Sean. Really great people. This is a really special guitar. I'll take the camera down and we'll do a run across it.
Now you can find relief for your tired, cold feet. 35 below compression socks can help reduce swelling and help keep your body
Come on, focus. There we go.
You can spend up
Now
to
we get the
35
bridge,
for just
which we fixed the ground right here. Right here, that is. We fixed that ground. And then we replaced that pickup with an original 1999 pickup and a gold tone cover and bezel. And this guitar has 3 pickups in it. And there's the name. And here's the fretboard. It turned out pretty well. It's got the mother of pearl block inlays with rosewood fretboard. And it's got a bound neck.
At Passages Malibu, we treat and heal the underlying causes of addiction so you can live a healthy, addiction-free life.
And we have, oops.
This is not a 12-step program. I should know. I was an addict for 10 years.
Les Paul Custom there, bound neck, gold tone tuners, mother of pearl logo, and mother of pearl name.
I gained 53 pounds.
Did she say gain weight?
So it came out pretty darn nice, this guitar.
That's right. Introducing CB1 Weight Gainer.
Yeah, pretty proud of it.
CB1 weight gainer.
It came out pretty nice. So it took a lot of work. We did it in 3 days. Had about 2 hours each stream, so I got 6 hours of labor into this, which I'm perfectly fine with. Perfectly fine with having 6 hours of labor into it. Perfectly fine. I do not intend on selling this guitar, but if I do, if somebody came along with $800, $900, $1,000, I'd sell it.
Epiphone.com now. Man, want to be younger, stronger, leaner? You don't have to slow down under 40. Frank Thomas found the solution to staying in shape. The energy
Came out pretty nice.
Man, you look like you could still hit it a mile. I feel great too.
I'm pretty proud of it.
Then slow down. It's harder to stay in shape. Why? Our free testosterone levels drop. It happened to me, and then I found Nugenix Total T. New Nugenix Total T is our most powerful man-boosted formula.
I actually had this guitar set aside to do the stream for Truthfully Tricia since about March of this year. And then things came up, and then she took her 2 months off, and then she took another 3 months off, and then she came back, and then she had the hurricane in North Carolina where she lives, and then she took some more time off. So now that she's back, I chose this time to do it, and Christmas Eve was no better time to do it. I thought it was appropriate to do it, so it turned out pretty well. I'm really happy. Really cool guitar. And this is not the only one of these that I have. I have other Epiphone Les Paul Custom SGs. I have a black one. I have a white one. I have a sunburst one. No, I take it back. It's tobacco burst. And then I have a blue and silver metal flake one. So I have five of these total. But the other 4 do not have serial numbers with 0001 or 2 or 3 or 4 or any low number like that. They're just a regular number, nothing number. But this one is special in that it came off the assembly line in 1999, number 1 off the assembly line. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that. And I don't even think the guy I bought it from realized what he had, because he didn't even mention the serial number to serialing to me at all. And if he did, he didn't care, and thus he didn't mention it to me. So I was just like, okay. Then I, when I inventory all my guitars, I write down serial number, year, make, model, serial number, color, model, all that kind of stuff, and serial number lastly. I looked at the serial number and I was like, 0001. No, 0001. And I was pretty shocked. So it's pretty cool. The guitar had no other issues. No issues with the neck, no issues with the body, the bridge, the other electronics, the headstock, the tuners. Nothing else. No other issues. Finish-wise, I guess there was a sticker here, and somebody took the sticker off and then sandpapered the residue off. So there's a kind of an oval circle right here. That's really the wrong way to take a sticker off a guitar. You don't use sandpaper, because now there's a spot here that's all sanded down. And it's got a few little nicks here and there, but otherwise it's in pretty good condition. I've seen worse. I'll put it that way. I've seen worse. So it's pretty good that way. So I'm pretty happy with this guitar. Okay, I think my soldering iron's cooled down enough for me to put it away now. So I'll do that. Get it out of the way. And, yeah, get it out of the way.
You know how much I appreciate what you did for me. When this is all over, if you want to talk, I'm all ears.
Oh, okay, so we got our soldering iron away. And tomorrow's guitar is going to be, I don't know, might be that new J Tercer that I have in the box. I have a brand new in the box J Tercer guitar. Oh no, I take it back. It's not a J Tercer. It's a IYV, brand new. It's an IYV Mustang. So all I have to do is polish it and put a setup on it, and that's it. So I'll probably do that one tomorrow. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Yeah, that's probably it. So this is a pretty cool, unique guitar. I'm pretty proud of it. Pretty unique in that it's 3 pickup. I do have a lot of other guitars that are Gibson and Epiphone that have 3 pickups. Like I have Gibson Black Beauties. I have 3 of those. I have 3 or 4 Epiphone Black Beauties, and those have 3 pickups. So I have quite a few guitars that have 3 humbuckers in them. Even some Telecasters, some Fender Telecasters, BC Rich Telecasters that have 3 pickups in them. I have a Project BC Rich Custom Shop body that has 3 P90s in them. Talk about unique. So I'm going to be doing that guitar hopefully early next year. Because I have to decide what neck I'm going to put on it. I have several custom shop blank necks that I can use for those. So we'll see. Laura Guitar Music. I'm sorry I didn't see you if you're still there. Barcelona. Yes, good old Barcelona. I like Barcelona. Never been there, but I've watched lots of documentaries about Barcelona. This is a Epiphone Les Paul Custom SG. It's from the year 1999, and it's unique in that the serial number is 00001, meaning it's the first guitar off the assembly line for the year 1999. So it's pretty unique in that. Epiphone always, when they made their first guitar for the first model year, they made it kind of a special guitar. So that particular year, they chose the Epiphone Les Paul Custom SG and made it with 3 pickups, gold hardware, 1 master tone, 3 volume, 3-way toggle switch, rosewood fretboard, mother of pearl block inlays, and Avalonian mother of pearl logo and name on the headstock. So it's pretty unique guitar for that. So it had issues. I purchased it from somebody who really didn't know what it was, and then somebody before him changed this bridge pickup to some modern dual pole pickup. I guess they wanted a different tone or something. And it didn't look right in the guitar, so I took that out, and I had an original 1999 pickup Epiphone, so I swapped out the pickup, and I had a 1999 gold tone cover, and I put that on it. And then it had a problem with low volume. You could plug the guitar into the amp, crank it up all the way, volume on the guitar, crank it up all the way, volume on the amp, and very, very low volume. So my thinking was it was a ground issue, and I did find a ground issue. It wasn't properly grounded to the bridge. The guy had taken some duct tape or something and duct taped the insert for the piece here, for the stud here, and in doing so that blocked off the ground. wire, obviously. So they did that. So I fixed that, and there was a problem with this pot. The chamber for the electronics is painted with a conductive shield, and there was a chunk of wood missing right here, and instead of gluing the chunk of wood that came off, they threw it away. So when they put the pot back on, it didn't make contact with it, thus pretty much blanking out this master tone knob. So when you go to use it, you had almost zero volume on the guitar. So I fixed that issue, and now the guitar 100% works. I put a full professional setup on it, and now it's a 100% working and factory original guitar. I paid $250 for it, American. I know for a fact I can get $700 to $1,000 for it, just because it's kind of unique. This is not the only 3 pickup SG, that's for sure, but this is the only one that's got 00001 for the serial number, indicating that it was number 1 off the assembly line for the model year for Epiphone. So it's kind of rare for that aspect. So I picked this guitar for a special reason to do. I'm dedicating these 3 streams that I worked on this guitar. I'm dedicating it to a good friend of mine here on YouTube, and her name is Truthfully Trisha. You can check her out. She's pretty cool, a really good lady friend of mine. Again, her name is Truthfully Trisha, and she's a good friend of mine, and I just decided to do a dedication stream to her. One-of-a-kind guitar, if you will. And she's kind of a one-of-a-kind person, so I kind of matched the 2 up. So that's what we did on that. So that's pretty much the history on the guitar. History is pretty well yeah, that's it on the history of the guitar. So it's a pre-millennium guitar. You can look at it that way too. Pretty cool. It's a pre-millennium guitar. It's got minimal fret wear on it. It's got a few little nicks and scratches on it, but it's pretty good condition for a guitar that's 20 years old. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I will be right back. I'm going to get a fresh soda, and I'll be right back. Thank you. So yeah, there you have it on the history of the guitar. Again, it's a Epiphone Les Paul Custom SG from the year 1999. And the serial number is 0001, indicating that it was number 1 guitar off the assembly line for Epiphone for that model year. So that's pretty cool. Number 1 guitar.
my report on copper pockets. Thank you.
So we had a friend here from Barcelona join the stream and chat. So that was pretty cool. He was AURA Guitar Music. So I guess you can check him out. Aura Guitar Music. And check out my friend Truthfully Trisha, who the stream is dedicated to, and her husband Tomahawk Sean, who this stream is also dedicated to. Both great people. And check them out. They are both awesome. Awesome. They're both awesome. So I'm really happy that this guitar is done. I've been saving this guitar since about March of this year. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So I've been saving it for 10 months to do. So it's been a long project in the making. Very long project in the making. So I'm pretty happy it's done. Porthos.
I almost forgot my chef and do with the steak.
So there you have it. I have a case for the guitar. It's a soft shell case, but it's good enough for this. And I'm going to take a full spread of pictures of this tomorrow and have it on my Facebook page and my Twitter and my website tomorrow. And you can check that out at Klasic Guitar. That's KLASIC space guitar. So Klasic Guitar. And again, you spell classic KLASIC. So it's Klasic space guitar on Twitter and on Facebook. And these pictures will be up tomorrow around 2 or 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm pretty happy the way this guitar came out. Away, so. Okay, so I think I'm going to end this stream. It's been 3 hours. That's pretty long. I usually don't like to let my videos go more than an hour and a half, too. So thank you for joining me on this classic guitar video on this guitar, this very special 3-part series stream for my very good friend here on YouTube, Truthfully Trisha and Tomahawk Sean. You can check them out here on Twitter and on Facebook and on YouTube. Again, this guitar is a 1999 Epiphone Les Paul Custom SG. And it's special in that the serial number is 0001, indicating that it was the first guitar off the assembly line for Epiphone in 1999. So I chose this guitar because it's special, and I think my friend Truthfully Trisha is special, and she's one of a kind, and this guitar is special and one of a kind, so that's why I chose this guitar to do a special dedication stream for her. So I want to thank you very much for being my friend and being there for me. And also you, Tomahawk Sean. Thank you very much. You're both great and wonderful people. and they receive a lot of hate and a lot of haters and a lot of trolls, which is a real shame. It is what it is. I won't get into that, but it doesn't matter. They're both great people. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I see them for who and what they are. That's why I've stayed loyal online friends with them for as long as I have. Again, thank you very much for joining me for this special stream about my friends, Truthfully Tricia and Tomahawk Sean. And thank you very much. And tomorrow will be a brand new in the box IYV Mustang. It's literally brand new in the box. I haven't even opened the box yet. So all I'm going to do to that guitar is a polish and a setup, and that's it. So stay tuned for that. Very special guitar that I bought from a friend of mine, Kevin, and we'll do that guitar tomorrow. So again, thank you very much to Truthfully Tricia and Tomahawk Sean, and really great people. And again, this show is sponsored by Glendora, California Guitar Center. They're really great people too. Check them out. So again, thank you very much for tuning in on this special 3-part series stream, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.